But I just want to start by giving you just a sense of everything we know as of right this moment. According to the D.C. Metro Police, at around 2:15 local time, a suspect came around the corner of 17th Street and I Street, just about 2 blocks from the White House. And witnesses told the Washington Post that they heard 2 or 3 gunshots, followed by a pause and then more shots. The D.C. police say the attack appears to have been carried out by a lone gunman who ambushed 2 members of the West Virginia National Guard while they were patrolling the area. The Guard members then returned fire. Officials are calling it a targeted attack. Now, I should warn you that some of the images we are about to show are quite graphic. So if you would like to look away, I just want to give you a little bit of a warning right now. Now, as of tonight, the suspected gunman, who has been identified as Rahmanullah Lakhanwal, a 29-year-old Afghan national, is in custody. But authorities have still not said anything publicly about a motive, and that can sometimes take some time. We're going to talk to some guests about that in a moment. The suspect was subdued and apprehended by other members of the National Guard, along with law enforcement who were in the vicinity of the attack. And the 2 members of the National Guard who were tragically shot have been hospitalized and remain in critical condition at this time. A video from the aftermath of the shooting appears to show a team of first responders doing chest compressions on one of those National Guard members, while another team member cares for the other. And just to show you just how close this shooting was to the heart of D.C., again, just blocks from the White House, one of those National Guard members was taken in an ambulance and transported to the National Mall, where they were then medevaced to a trauma center. All of this unfolded so close to the White House that it briefly placed a lockdown on the whole area, along with the Treasury Department next door. President Trump was not at the White House at the time, having left D.C. to spend last night, actually, to spend the Thanksgiving holiday at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach. And likewise, Vice President J.D. Vance was outside D.C. at the time of the shooting as well. Now, in response to today's attack, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth announced that President Trump has ordered another 500 Guard members into D.C.
This happened just steps away from the White House. It will not stand. And that's why President Trump has asked me, and I will ask the Secretary of the Army to the National Guard, to add 500 additional troops, National Guardsmen, to Washington, D.C. This will only stiffen our resolve to ensure that we make Washington, D.C. safe and beautiful.
Now, those 500 new National Guard members would come on top of the already 2,188 Guard members already assigned to D.C. The FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force is leading the investigation into today's shooting, working to determine if it was an act of terrorism. The Secret Service is also looking into whether the shooter intended to target the White House itself or anyone under the Secret Service's protection. But as of now, there is still a lot we don't know. The investigation is really just beginning. And again, we'll bring you anything we learn during the next hour to update you. But joining me now to discuss all of this is MS Now Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Delanian and former Assistant Special Agent in charge at the FBI, Michael Feinberg. Ken, let me just start with you. You've been covering this all very, very closely. Tell me, is there anything that I missed there about where the investigation stands right now, or any updates that you've had from your sources?
There's one new piece of information, Jen, and the New York Times is reporting, and MS Now has confirmed, Mark Santia and I, that this 29-year-old Afghan entered the country in 2021 through a Biden administration program called Operation Allies Welcome, which accepted around 90,000 Afghans. And people may remember it was a kind of a furious operation at the end of at the conclusion of America's involvement in Afghanistan, where we were trying to give sort of rescue some of the people that had helped the United States cause, or Afghans who were in danger. And there was a lot of vetting that took place very quickly. And this person was admitted into the country at that time. Now, there are also reports, we have not confirmed these reports, that he then later applied for asylum last year and was granted asylum by the Trump administration this year. Again, MS Now has not confirmed those reports, but in fairness, I want to offer the full context for our viewers. And so that, of course, is one piece of the puzzle here as investigators try to seek out what the motive is. And we don't know what the motive is, but obviously thoughts are, of course, turning to, was this some form of Islamic extremist terrorism? That's not without precedent in these kinds of situations. That's exactly what investigators are looking into right now. As soon as the FBI concluded that this was a targeted attack on uniformed members of the armed services. They took over the investigation from DC police, worked to identify the suspect, and now no doubt are going through his digital footprint, his social media accounts, trying to interview relatives, trying to piece together everything they can learn about this man's life while he was in the United States, his movements before the attack, where he got the weapon. All those questions at the moment are unanswered.